Shoppers better took those risks. Cool, but on my fists we fire starters. One out of a million will reach those heights. All the credit field and then I won't see now.
We're in the middle. Perez joining him. In it goes towards Olivier Giroud. The corner. Not about to strike. What a goal that was! It's out. Chilean takes. Oh!
So, people, we are back. I promised you there would be a podcast this week. Here it is. And of course, as always, I'm joined by some special guests. So I've got Jez here with me today, Kenny Ken, and Prince Fuad, or also known as the Arteta-in person. It's just if you talk about Arteta-ins, you look at Fuad, and that's just how it goes. But we're gonna talk about everything today, people. But where do we even start? It's been a crazy developments in the media. There's been a few things kicking off, and I'm still angry about the Newcastle game. So we're going to divert off that today because I can't handle it. But there is a big thing that has come out of the Newcastle game, and it is Arsenal have been charged by the FA for not ensuring its players conducted themselves on the pitch. Where do we even begin? Jez, please give me your thoughts on this, because as far as I was aware, Newcastle got more yellow cards than we did. What do you think about that?
Well, I think this is all to do with the 95th minute penalty that Arsenal clearly should have had and didn't get. And obviously, quite rightly, I understand players. It was a tense evening. Newcastle came, frustrated Arsenal, which I always suspected they would do, because for the first 20, Arsenal were carving them open. Newcastle, obviously, fair play to Eddie Howe. He said, we can't sustain this situation. So we've got to change things about. And he did. And I respect him for doing that. I found it very, very frustrating when you've got a team with 11 men behind the ball. Then you just can't break a team down like that. They had their opportunities, one or two opportunities, but they weren't fantastic. And I've been debating this game since that evening with my two friends that are the two brothers that I drink with. One of them was in the chat on Wednesday night, my friend Steve, who made the classic comment, like what he said, get over it, which I knew he was going to do something like that. It's to charge the players with this misconduct, I think, is ridiculous. I've seen other teams this season react in exactly the same way and not get charged. Yeah. So where has this come from? They quite honestly were upset. It was a clear penalty, the way Gabriel was brought down. But in hindsight, fairness, Arsenal also gave a penalty to Newcastle. So was this a balancing out factor? I don't know. It was a frustrating evening all round. Man City have now gained 3 points on us. And we're entering into a period of time of the season now where we're about to start in another cup competition Monday evening against Oxford. So we seriously need now to have a depth of squad, and we haven't got it. But yeah, that's how I see it. I'm annoyed that EFA have charged the Arsenal players, or the Arsenal club, because I don't see any need for that. There was no pushing or shoving on the referee, anything like that. So I don't believe that is an act of misconduct.
No, I agree. Kenny Ken, what are your thoughts on this? I've seen your media coverage on Instagram. So what do you think of this whole charging situation? I think it's a bit pathetic.
Well, the only person who should be in a dot is the referee, because he lost control of the game. Yeah. You know, he didn't know whether to, by booking a Newcastle player so early, he felt himself that he had to even it up. You sometimes referees are obviously you're asked to follow the letter of the law, but sometimes you're asked to let the game flow. By the time he gave that first yellow card and he gave them a second yellow card, what happened then was when Arsenal players committed, similar, soft fouls, that was going to be a yellow card. And I think, if you look at the whole game, Newcastle, it should just be as much culpable as Arsenal because they try to referee the game. They fought for every decision. You had to be there in the ground to see it. Dan Burn, major culprit, and Grumerish were in the referee's face all the time about evening it up. But as soon as the referee, you had those 2 penalty incidents, not so much the first one, the second one, Dan Burn was leading the charge to the referee. The only thing that was in the referee's favour, it was that close to it. So it was a matter of his own opinion. But in terms of Arsenal being charged and Mikel Arteta going mad, that's the media. Let me tell you something now. If public opinion goes one way, then 9 out of 10 times the media are the ones who created it. Chris Sutton, Graham Souness, Richard Keys, main protagonists towards this narrative towards Arsenal being out of control and blah, feeling the pressure. You know what the FA are like? They bow to public opinion, and I think that's a lot of it's to do with it. But that's football in itself. It's a big game. Newcastle, now, as much as Arsenal going for that league and it's coming really close, Newcastle haven't been playing the Champions League for about, they haven't played Champions League football for nearly, 20 years? If not, 20 years. So this is big for them as well, especially with the pressure they're under in order to win a trophy, get into Europe with all the money they spent. So both teams were under pressure, and that was fueled by the media. But the biggest culprit was the referee because he allowed Newcastle to fight for every decision, which we encourage people to do, and he just wasn't able to handle it. But that's what comes to the territory now. We're recognised now as not a soft team, but as a team that wants to fight for every decision. So Arsenal should defend it vigorously. But doesn't surprise me. But I'm glad that we're in the spot. I'm glad that teams are slagging us off. I love that. That's what I've been asking for. That's my kind of thing. That's how I love me football. I don't want everyone to be friends. I don't want everyone to say Arsenal play beautiful football, but they've got stuff on the belly. They can't press. They can't do that. Boring. I love it. I want teams to know there's an edge. So there's a big. If the FA want to do what they did, bring it on. Look what happened when they deducted us 2 points in '91. We won the league anyway. So bring it on, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. And you could take it as a compliment that everyone's trying to bring us down because we're clearly we've raised the bar and it's high. And the only way people can try and catch up with us is trying to, poke the bear, poke Xhaka, trying to get him sent off. And that's how we're playing good football, because the only way Newcastle could try and get that edge and beat us or draw was to keep picking, keep going to the ref every time. They convinced him to give Odegaard a yellow card. The referee was convinced to do that. So it says it all, really. Fuad, what's your opinions very quickly on this charging? Is there anything we should be worried about, or what do you think?
I think it's ridiculous. I think if anyone should be charged, it's the referee. You know how quickly they are to investigate players about match fixing, getting booked and all that. This guy got yellow cards like he knew what he like someone put a bet on it or something. Yeah. They should put him on a panel. Say why'd you do it? But what they're trying to do, they cover that story. Do you know they'll cover the story. Let's find Arsenal instead, because that's dodgy. You can't pull out all them yellow cards in one game. Like, look at Ivan Toney and all these players. These referees got to be part of it.
Yeah.
For people to bet on themselves. Refs are human beings. They're so protected in this country. They didn't get away with it.
There we go.
When was the last time you seen a referee? How many years have fans been calling for it? Put them on a panel. Why can't referees come out and explain their decisions? So if I was a ref and I was like getting £100 a game, like they do, like £1,000 a game, and I know they're taking 120 grand a game, I'll be the first dodgy referee. I'll do it myself. If I know I want to have 100 grand at the end of the month in my bank, I'll do it. And I know I'm not going to get questioned. I'm not going to go against the panel. I know. Why not? So
Yes.
I find the referee was dodgy. And that's why they've digressed it and say, oh, Arsenal done this, Arsenal players. They never did nothing wrong. Arteta just wanted a penalty, so did the players.
Yeah, that happens in every single game. You can look at any team, and especially in a game as tense as that, where it's 0-0, you just need that one opportunity, that one
100%.
chance.
But what don't
You're
help
gonna
you, Grace?
you're gonna react badly because they've been poked all game. Newcastle were in their face all game. I'd be
But
frustrated too.
But what don't help though, Grace, is the reason why Arteta is frustrated and all that. What don't help with fans, like even neutral fans were frustrated about that game because when you speak to neutrals who don't support Arsenal, they say the problem with the referee and the FA is they already know Arsenal, Man City have got all the tools to win the league. So when
Yeah.
you've got a team challenging them, and you've got the rest still being unfair, like how can this team get challenged? You know, Arsenal, who could challenge really Man City? Who was expecting Arsenal to challenge them? You know, so even neutral fans were looking at the game thinking these referees are dodgy. They already know how hard it is to win the league, and on top of all that, they're giving away dodgy decisions. So it don't add up to me. It don't add up. And the FA wants to go. I've been saying it like George said in '91. This league, the FA got a problem with Arsenal.
Could it be? Could it be? I mean, it was a shambles, and you know we can look at it from our perspective as well. That there's many things that we should have done to go and try win that game. It was a difficult game, and you know not all decisions were on point, but I did think we played well. And there wasn't really much more we could do apart from looking towards our bench. Now we're going to discuss this because there's a big hole in our team without Jesus, and Nketiah has replaced him. He probably had one good shot on Newcastle, and that was about it. And he's has he scored 2 goals? He scored 2 goals since returning into the starting 11. So you know it's without Jesus, we're missing that flair. I think Jesus does not stop on this pitch. You look at this guy; his stats must be absolutely through the roof because he's amazing, and he makes our team. You know, the bars here, he makes it come up here. But I have seen on social media that he is making very quick progress. Is he pushing himself too soon, or could we just be very lucky? Of course, he did have surgery not that long ago, and you know he's off crutches. His knee brace is off. He's been in the gym, and could he see a return to training? Kenny, I'll come to you first. From what we've seen, it looks like he could make a return soon. But do you think Arsenal are pushing him too soon?
Well, they feel that. I think they are. But the thing about it is that it depends on the player. The player knows his body thing, and it's about how he reacts. You know, there's so much football. You know, to the extent that you know if we get further in the FA Cup and get further in Europe, there's going to be big games that he could play for us. So, you know, more for it. But I really, for the sake of us and his career, take your time. But the fact is that the reason why everyone's pushing for it because. No disrespect, Wendy, and this is not disrespect because you know I'm not a massive fan of his inclusion in the squad. But the fact is that he is what he is in the tin. He is a goal scorer. He's a fox in the box. You know the work rate that we need in order to try and bring players into the game just isn't there without Jesus. And you can't ask Eddie to do what he's not good at. So it's on the manager to change the way we play slightly because teams are going to work us out anyway. They've worked us out to a certain extent that they double up on the wide players, and they know that in terms of what Jesus gives us, there's not going to be that pressure from midfield into those little channels, left forward channels, which he likes to operate in tandem with Gabriel Martinelli. So that's where the challenge for Arteta. You can sign players, yeah, sure you can. You can get your Modric, you can get your Felix, Felixes, and I think that's probably going to be the situation where you get a different variety of player to come in to sort of, give us another option, give teams another thing to think about. Because as you said, the bench, the fact is that, the three must plays, were Partey, Odegaard and Saka. And they've earned the right to see through the 90 minutes, even though they were battering in that door. the person who's probably got something to feel a bit aggrieved about and worry about is probably Fabio Vieira, because he is that kind of, when we're calling for a bit of creativity to break down the two lines of defence, he is a player who is creative. I'm not saying, and you could, you don't have to substitute Odegaard. You could have, I say, with great reluctance, but in terms of tactically, and it's not personal, take off Granit Xhaka and then get, like I said, Vieira in that situation and replay Odegaard in Xhaka's position and get Vieira in that creative bubble. That's something Arteta could have done and probably should have done, because that way he keeps on his 3 must stays. But who knows? Maybe there's a 4th must play all the time, and that probably is Granit. But if anyone should have come off, it probably should have been Granit for a tactical aspect and brought on creativity, because there's no good Arsenal fans talking about lack of creativity when we've got a creative player on the bench in Vieira. So that's where Mikel could have made a difference.
Yeah, 100%. Just before I come on to it, I want to address one of the comments because that has just made me giggle massively. This lovely comment here. Wait, are you not the group that hate Arsenal? Why do you care? You must be happy, surely. I tell you something now, Seth. Everyone in this call loves Arsenal to the very bottom of their hearts. And the fact that people see us as a hate group towards Arsenal, I find quite frankly ridiculous. I cannot even describe how much I love the club. Like, it's just one of those things that you have. I've supported my whole life. Everyone in this call has always supported Arsenal. Kenny, you go to home and away games. Jez, you've been to loads of games. I've been to games. Phil has been to games on a regular basis. I don't hate this club. I love them. That's why I want to see us succeed. And I'm sitting here now absolutely buzzing because we're sitting top of the league and the standard that we asked for years and years and years is finally being met. So no, I don't hate it. What I do hate is when we were stupid in the last few years. We've been absolutely blind. But now we've turned up the accelerator and now we're where we should be, top of the league. And I tell you now, I have faith in this club that we can do something this season. We are challenging for a title.
Second comment, Gracie.
I see it.
You support that Lee guy. I don't support Lee.
I don't support Lee. I watch him, and he's a friend. He's a guest.
I don't support him. I mean, we have a conversation as adults, and that's what Kenny does. Prince Fowler does. Prince Fowler and I've had disagreements.
Yeah,
I don't agree. Kenny and I don't agree about everything.
Seth's just being childish. He's being childish. He sees everything as black and white. He thinks because we've with the exception of the Prince, called for Arteta to be replaced, we can't celebrate. We've got no right to celebrate being an Arsenal fans. I mean, Seth, unfortunately for people like you, the club is clearly not big enough for you. That it's clearly personalities that are bigger. You think that if we're not backing a player or we're not, like I said, supporting a player in conditioning or manager going conditioning, we don't have the club. Well, Steph, you need to go back and re-educate yourself, because at the end of the day, the fact is that you're being childish, extremely childish. You're trying to impress, people who from other podcasts and other Twitter handles who think that everything's black and white when it comes to supporting Arsenal. That there's actually like the 10 Commandments supporting a football club. Which, if all I can say to you in your 10 Commandments, you can take it and chuck it in the River Thames for all I care, because I think you're out of order, Steph. Really out of order. You've been extremely.
Well, what you've got to understand, see, Seth, I'm Arteta in, and it ain't about Arteta in, about it out. It's what the club have done. The club have made fans like this. No, it's not the people. It's like we've been for 17, 18 years. The club has just been lying to their fans. So the fans like Kenny, Jez, Tracy, they're entitled to their opinion, but I don't blame them. I blame the club. If you're open-minded, it's the club. They lied to us. They said what they say, Jez. What they say, Ken. Because Kenny, I think Gracie wasn't even born when he moved to the Emirates. She was one. Oh, we're gonna challenge the big boys. We're gonna win Champions Leagues. What they say, Ken. We're gonna have a bigger venue to buy bigger players.
Yeah,
that's right.
Never happened. It never happened.
It never happened. I tell you what happened. The milkman retired, and we're still in the Emirates, bro.
Look, fair enough to Seth. Like, we're not hating on you. We're just saying in general. It's like there's this preconception of people that don't necessarily. Like, I back the manager on game day. I back my players on game day. Doesn't mean afterwards I can sit there and look and review that and go, do you know what? That was not good enough for our football club. Our history demands better, and we're trying to create new history, but we're not creating it in the way we wanted. That's what we're pushing as fans. We're pushing to say, do you know what? No, I don't want to accept below top 4 because that's what we've had for years. I don't want to accept not being in the Champions League either, because that's not how it should be. And I definitely don't want to accept not winning anything. We can win as many FA Cups as we like, and I love the FA Cup, but nothing to me compares to having a league title. That is one of the ultimates, and that's what we're aiming for. And I understand that we may have a reputation, but I just unfortunately happen to come on this platform at a time where Arsenal aren't doing great and we have this Arteta manager. That just happens to be it. So that is now what I'm known as. That is now our reputation, because we happen to, take off in a time where, there's a lot of hate towards the manager. So
I think the thing is, Gracie, it's the culture of a lot of young fans, and they've never seen Arsenal win the Premier League or anything like that. They accept mediocrity because that's what they've been spoon-fed. They've accepted the fact that 4th is a trophy. Arsene Wenger's theory in his latter time. Now, when Wenger was at his peak and he was winning trophies, FA Cups, doing well in Europe, got to the European Cup final, but we lost, unfortunately. And I will actually say I think we were cheated in that, but there you go. It is what it is. And I can understand why people will be drawn into a situation where they will accept mediocrity, because that's all they've ever known. Unfortunately, I've seen Kenny, Prince Fowles. We've seen Arsenal win doubles. We've seen us win Premier Leagues, first divisions, FA Cups, get into win a League Cup. These are what Arsenal fans of our age and experience want to see. So it's not we're shooting the club down. Far from it. Far from it. What does that badge behind my bloody head say?
I'm surrounded by things. Surrounded.
Cordia Crescit, victory through harmony. Yeah, that is what we want. Now, at the end of the day, I don't mind people calling me out that I sometimes speak out against the manager. I've actually berated that manager. At this point in time, I have to say, fair play to Mikel Arteta. He's doing an excellent job, apart from the game the other night. He could have mixed that up, changed that.
Took a risk.
And that is what concerns me with him. And I'll leave it there.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, I don't think it's not even, I guarantee you, if people watched us on a the people that do watch us on a very, very regular basis will actually see that the only bits that other people see of us being negative is very rare, especially now, especially this season. And, towards the end of last season, I know for a fact we were not the only ones that were upset about what happened, because it was a disgrace. But now we've turned it around. We're in the position where we're in. I have not said a single negative thing about Arteta this season. Minor things. I have not said anything major about this manager this season, and I have admitted on multiple different podcasts. Other night on Jez's podcast with Lee Gunner, all of you guys here, I said I like the manager right now, and I'm on the fence because he's doing extremely well, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of what our team put out the other day, but there's just minor things. So there you go. That's just, my opinion on that one. It's a whole segue to a different thing, but we're not negative. There's people on this platform that are toxically positive, and that does the club no good. We're sitting here from the perspective of we want to win the league, and look what is happening now. When the things we've said are implemented, look what happens. It's magical. But anyway, we're going to talk about the squad because that's what we're here to talk about. So yeah, the squad depth is a concern. It is a massive concern. Jesus looks like he's on a swift recovery and could be back soon. I'm probably saying the end of this month, maybe early February, by the looks of it. But he looks strong and he looks like he's improving well. But we are in the transfer window. We are a week into the transfer window now, which is crazy. And nothing much has happened yet. There's a lot of media coverage on different things, but we're looking like we've got two main targets, and we're looking like we're going all in for these two targets. So there's the potential to get João Felix on loan. I've heard though, it is a big price tag. However, for on loan, I think it's something stupid like 19 million for 6 months, which is a big risk because what if he doesn't play for all that time? We've just wasted 19 million there, and then Mudryk from Shakhtar and Chelsea are in on this as well. They want in on this as well. He's a good player. Fuad, have you seen this player much, Mudryk? Do you think he's going to fit well into Arsenal? It does look very promising. He does want to come to Arsenal 100%.
Yeah, I see he plays. Yeah, he'll boost the squad. I think if they bring him in, because he's like people are saying about like he'll bring a different dilemma to the attack. Like he's faster. He's faster than the two wingers we got already, and he's technically both-footed. Jeremy, he's technically both-footed. So it'll be something different. He'll light up the Premier League, and the thing is, he'll boost up the squad too. Like he'll light up the squad because it's something like the fans can like, yeah, we got something else on the bench because he's direct, but then he's both leg, like so he can switch on to left, switch on to right. Whereas Martinelli and Saka could only shoot with 1 foot. You see already when they get that chance, they'll never try with their opposite foot. Whoever's left leg, he'll shoot with his left. If he's right, he'll shoot with his right. Whereas this guy. Yeah. You got an option, like you could put him on the left or right. Whatever the ball drops to him, he can whack it. So he'll bring a different thing, yeah. But the only thing that I question though is when Arsenal when they're saying he's worth Anthony, like when they Schalke there saying, they paid 100 million for Anthony. Anthony's not worth 100 million.
No
way.
Why
not got knocked? Would you take Wilfred Zaha and a Brighton striker Tosin? If you got 100 million to spend on one player, there's 2 players there, Premier League proven. Go and get them. If you're serious about winning this out, don't go all out, Jamie. Even and you got a lot of Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, we're gonna bid with Lord." The Chelsea owner come out and said the other day, said on the thing, "We're not buying him. If you think that you're gonna put a price of 100 million, get out of here. No one's gonna pay that." So Schalke, the rest, I think he must end up saying at Schalke 100 million.
Well, I think that there's multiple figures going on. I think the main evaluation is around 85 million. That is very high. If he's worth that, I mean, we'll find out. And if Arsenal are willing to pay it, but we know Shakhtar won't back down off of this. They are 100% certain that they want 85 million pounds for him, and I don't know if we'll do it. We can do it, but it's whether we will be willing to do that. I think if we really want him that bad, and don't get me wrong, we need him. I feel like this is a must buy. This is on the must buy list, along with João Felix.
But the game's coming up. But what you got to understand here, and I think Jez and you're all agreeing with this, it ain't about when. It's not when to buy him. Do you know? Like you got 2 games. You got Tottenham. That's not guaranteed 3 points. So you got Man United. Then what you do then? You panic buy and go and buy then. It's a bit too late then.
Prince, it's not a panic buy though, because we've known from September that the squad's too thin. I was having a conversation with a journalist who I'm really quite friendly with because we've got a mutual friend. Although me and mutual friend fall out and then make friends again. But he was at the Brentford game where we won comfortably, played beautiful play, and that was a couple of weeks after after the Man United game, where we thought the squad was too thin. So we've always known the squad was too thin, and that we always feared that, if anything happened to like the must plays, 90 minutes, and Jesus was one of the must plays, and he is integral to the way we play in terms of like the way we create problems and create that valve down the left with himself and Martinelli. That that if anything happens to him, we should buy someone. And even with Jesus, the onus was on strengthening the squad because, as opposed to last season, we were just trying to get in the top four. We wanted Vlahovic. We didn't get him. He messed us around, or we felt messed around, and now we're in a safe situation where, it's imperative, not just from the numbers point of view, but teams are beginning to work us out.
Yeah.
And so we do need that kind of variety, in terms of the attack. And the areas that Arsenal keep on talking about is, for some reason, Arteta's obsessed with a winger and obsessed with, not so much obsessed with a midfielder, but a fullback. So clearly, he's seen that our main areas of strength, where we feel we still have to strengthen, is the wide players, both defensively and attacking wise. So it's a case where even if we beat Man United or beat Tottenham or drop points against both the teams, we were very, let's face it, Spurs at White Lane. I know you think we should go there and thump them. I respect that, Fuad, because that's what we should do, because we're going for the title. But come on, history tells us that it's going to be an absolute murderous game whatsoever. And Man United.
And that's why I'm saying we've got to bring a player in before that game. And that's what I'm saying. I know 4 goes out the window that game, because it happens all the time.
Home form don't, because you look at it since 2014, the home side is normally prevailed. It's only with the exception of like a cup game where we beat them 2-1 through Flamley's 2 excellent, beautiful goals, and then they beat us in the League Cup in 2018-2019 season, when they scored 2 beautiful goals as well. So apart from that, and then Man United, they finally got it right. And I don't know whether it's change of personnel, maybe they left out certain players, but they're playing for this man to the extent that I promise you, Fuad and Gracie and Jez, if you think Newcastle are going to put men behind the ball, you watch Man United with players like Lissandro, Malacia, Shaw. You watch, mate. You watch. And then when we're pumping balls in the end, they'll bring on Maguire. You see, I promise you, that's their tactics. They ain't losing that game and giving us anything, mate. They're going to get us on a break, and that's it.
There we go. Jez, what are your thoughts on this window? Obviously, the 2 players that are surrounding the media attention is all on Arsenal. And I think, in my opinion, these 2 players, I definitely want them. I feel like we need to get them within the next week, because Tottenham, I tell you this now though, I watched Tottenham versus Portsmouth today because I was quite interested. I thought, do you know what? I've got nothing to do. Put it on. I was like, oh my God, Tottenham are absolute shambles. I'm very, very surprised that Portsmouth didn't score in the first half, because they were not switched on whatsoever. And if we could capitalise on them being that switched off, that's all I'm saying. I'm not going to jinx it yet. But Jez, these 2 players in contention of coming to Arsenal, do you think it will happen? And how long do you think it's going to take?
Well, Gracie, this is a typical Arsenal situation. We've been treated like puppets. I can't honestly say I know a lot about this Mudryk. If he's as good as some people say, great. I can't see Arsenal spending 85 million. I don't think we should, because it's always the situation. We come knocking on the door and teams want to take our trousers down. And the loan deal for João Felix, okay, give it a go, but 19 million, is that what you said?
Yeah, 19 million.
Yeah, for 6 months. Yeah.
For 6 months. I mean, come on. I think Arsenal, if they fall for these sort of situations, I don't actually, honestly, we'll go back to Mudryk. I don't believe Chelsea are interested at all.
I think it's the media that are spinning that one.
The media hyping it up, and Arsenal I'm sure that the Arsenal negotiating team are very, very experienced, and they're not going to fall for that sort of bullshit. And if Arsenal are serious, then let's get it over the line. I mean, I saw some comments last week that there was a picture of him in a gym in a hotel.
Yes.
And one of the people that posted that is actually in our group chat. And I said, how the hell do you know that is a London hotel? How do you know?
Mm.
You've got no clue.
There's a few things in there that I've seen this. There is a few like slight details that give it away, but
Well, yeah, okay. I'll go with you on that. But when was it taken?
it's very true.
I just sorry, I don't fall for this crap.
Yeah.
But if Arsenal want to do this, then let's just get on with it, not mess about. But I'm sorry, 85 million for an unproven player. Again, let's talk Pepe. Now,
Yeah.
I liked Pepe.
I miss Pepe.
I just think he just didn't
Really
get
do.
the respect he deserved by Arteta. And I just don't get this. And my fear is if Arsenal don't do that, if they don't do the business and get a couple of players in, then say goodbye to the Premier League.
Mm.
Yeah, we've said it since the very, very beginning of the season. January's the most crucial time, especially with the fixtures coming up. Obviously, the FA Cup campaign starts on Monday. We do face Oxford United, but I'm not saying anything because after Nottingham Forest, I don't even want to think about what could happen.
Oh, yeah.
And we're wearing the unlucky kit by the looks of it. We're wearing the No More Red complete white kit, and we last time we wore that, we lost to Nottingham Forest and got kicked out of the FA Cup. It's hard to remind. It hurts the heart to even say that. But hopefully we can turn it around. Just big up to you, Seth. It takes a lot of courage to apologise. So big up to you. Thank you for seeing what we had to say and seeing our opinion on it. Because a lot of the people generally time go, "You're toxic, you're negative," and then they'll leave. They don't actually listen and hear to what we have to say. But big up to you, and I hope to see you around in the chat more. But yeah, we face Oxford United. It's away, isn't it? Which could be interesting, and atmospheres of
British
lower
TV,
league clubs. Yeah, atmospheres of lower league clubs can be quite loud and quite aggressive. So we'll go around because we are going to wrap it up soon. We'll go around and we'll give our predictions for the game. I'm going 4-0 Arsenal. It's a very bold move, but it's Oxford United, and I expect there's the expectation coming in there. I expect us to go there and absolutely stomp all over them. And we haven't got much squad rotation, so I don't really see us not playing most of our starting 11. Jez, what are your predictions?
Yeah, I think Arsenal will win. I will just say this: Sutton United Arsenal a few years ago.
Yeah.
We had to bring on Alexis Sanchez to score the goal. We had basically a second string team out there. And this is Sutton United, who have been known to be giant killers in the FA Cup. Let's get it right. So Oxford United, it won't be an easy draw. It will not be an easy game. And I am going to go 2-0.
Okay. Ken, what are your predictions?
You know what? I'm predicting I'm predicting a pretty low scoring game as well. I think I don't know, you said 4-0, I'm probably going to say about 3-1. But I do think that some of our first team players are going to play. I think Nketiah will play as well on the basis that, he's the only striker. And I think in terms of his confidence, he's actually should be confident. He's scored big goal. But I think in terms of his momentum, he's probably going to need that game. So a bit of sharpness before North London derby. And don't be surprised if we see the appearance of Saka if the game's tight. So yeah, that is where I'm going. I think we probably will concede, but the only positions I know who's going to play, but up front, I'll be stunned if Eddie Nketiah don't start. I'll be shocked.
Yeah, very. Prince Fred, before I come to you, I've just remembered. It's just like a light bulb has just gone off in my head. ESR and Emile Smith-Rowe will be available for the Spurs game. I don't know yet if he's ready for the Oxford game, but I know almost certainly that he will be available for the Spurs game. So there's that news there. Fuad, what are you predicting for the Oxford game?
I'm going 3-0.
Fair evaluation. Fair
I want to
evaluation.
say, can I predict? I'm going to predict the scorers too. Marquinhos is going to score 2, and Eddie Nketiah is going to have the 1. I know he's going to start Eddie. I agree with Kenny. There's no everyone else is on holiday. Eddie Nketiah. All of the team 11 on holiday except Eddie Nketiah. So Eddie started on Monday. But he needs that boost. He needs that confidence. I think he's been all right personally. Like even against Newcastle when they had 11 men against the ball. Like Kenny said, when Arsenal, if they change it a little bit to his strengths, they might have got a goal because when he took that chance, it was half a chance and he still got on target. So they gotta come. They gotta find it. They gotta find more direct football for him because he will put the ball in the net. You've seen how he's a poacher, so he'll score goals. So yeah, 3-0.
Nice one. Thanks for coming on tonight, guys. I do appreciate it. It's the first podcast in a very long time, actually. This is a weekly podcast, and from now it is again a weekly podcast. The World Cup kind of tossed everything around, and but we're back. I'm so happy that I'm watching Arsenal again. I can't even express how happy I am. And fingers crossed all goes well against Oxford. There will be a fan come after him. I was thinking I might do a watch along, so that could be around on Monday night, as it is an FA Cup game. And that's pretty much it from me, guys. But Jez, give yourself a shout out for your channel, please.
Yeah, thanks, Gracie. Arsenal history and more. I'm going to be dropping a lot more. I've got it all typed up again after I lost a load of it. For the last part of Arsenal in the 30s, I've done 2 more iconic Arsenal goalkeepers. I'll be dropping those over the next week or 2, maybe. Wednesdays is normally when I do a podcast with Kenny and Lee every couple of weeks, and guest Prince Fowl, Gracie, obviously. And I like to try and get different people on. Next week, I've got Mr. B for life, Brentford fan.
Oh, brilliant.
I actually really enjoy getting different fans on,
yeah, it's good fun.
They're playing beautiful stuff, Brentford, aren't they?
Absolutely. It's nice to get a different perspective, Kenny. And I'll just go out to Craig. When's the next quiz? I have written it. I've just got to find somebody that can challenge Kenny. That is the problem. So,
go for it. Do your best.
What's the quiz about, Jez?
Football, but obviously, this one is 40 questions, 20 on Arsenal and 20 on general football.
For Ed, I must warn you that I do watch old football videos.
Do I, Kenny. I might challenge you because I haven't gone against you yet, and I have a big brain up here that could do it.
Quiz. I want 4 people, so it's obviously Kenny.
The thing is, Kenny.
Anybody else is welcome.
He quizzes out on his Instagram, and I've got 2 wrong or 1 right. No, it took me. I go out.
You got David Price wrong, but you got everyone else.
I got David Price wrong, didn't it?
You got Paul Vasson right, and you got Trevor Ross. I didn't expect you to get Trevor Ross right.
Yeah, the other one I was ages. I thought 1, 2. Did you give me a guess?
I was shocked you got Paul Vasson. I was shocked. His hair was looking a bit, fair head when normally we associate Paul with brown hair. But God bless his soul, he's no longer with us, Paul Vasson.
But the one of them, you said 80s, and I thought I got it right there, didn't I? The first one. I got to study for Kenny.
I'll study.
I'll get you on, Prince Fowd. You can challenge Kenny with 2 others.
Why do you put me and Gracie against Kenny? Because he can challenge both of us.
Double up. Should we double up?
Yes.
Right, yeah. Kenny. Speaking of your Instagram account, where can everyone find you?
At KennyKen1972. I'm always on it. Like I said, I do little stuff that I read in the newspapers, and I think, let's have a talk about it. And I think it's not just Arsenal, but everything. But in terms of what's going on with in the football world, there's just as much going off the pitch as there was on the pitch. I mean, so you got to keep it posted. You know, the fact is that got some major games coming about. I'm going to be a nightmare this week because it's North London derby because I'm so nervous about it.
Oh, I'm a nervous wreck already.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be a bigger nightmare because it's Man United as well. Get a fixture I like, but the North London derby, I actually become much more nightmare when we play at their ground because I want to win that there so badly. I also want to win at the Emirates, but I really want to beat them at their ground. You know, I don't care about, you know, negotiating my voyage out after the game, which is a bit tricky. Even when we lose, it's a bit tricky. But the police, last time when we played them, that Thursday when they thrashed us, they made sure we were going anywhere but the high road. They just chucked us down Worcester Road and threw us on the Tottenham Hale with a few Spurs supporters. We just kept our heads down. I was with Afsal.
Okay.
So, Fuad, last but not least, where can everyone find you these days? Are you on YouTube still? What are you up to?
Oh, I've been lazy. I'm on Prince Fuad TV, but I'm still in the World Cup mode, man. Being lazy. Yeah, Prince Fuad TV. But I've just been a bit lazy, to be honest with you.
There you go.
Because I've been working through the festive and that. So
Exactly. Well, that's it from us, people. I will be back on Monday with my. Do you know what I will do a watch along? Do you know what I'm going to say it here? I'll say it now. I'll set it up after this stream. I will do a watch along, and maybe I'll get joined by some guests as well. Why not? I've got nothing else to do. So after that, people, I'm not going to say Arteta in. I'm not going to say Arteta out. I'm just going to say, come on, you Gunners, and that's it from us.
Victoria.
Football's always the winner.
Shoppers better cook those risks. Cool, but on my fists we fire starters. One out of a million marine shows. All the credit field and then I won't see knocked out.
We're in the middle. Perez joining him. In it goes towards Olivier Giroud. Not a bad strike. What a goal that was. Chilean takes. Oh!